where logic and belief meet and clash. Introduction. Two forces, one mind. Every human being lives at the intersection of two powerful forces, logic and belief. Logic demands proof. Belief accepts meaning. Logic asks questions. Belief provides answers. Sometimes they work together. Often they collide. This tension has shaped philosophy, science, religion, and human progress itself. The goal of this exploration is not to declare a winner, but to understand where these forces meet, where they clash, and what they mean for how we live and think. Point number 1. What is logic? Logic is the system of reasoning that evaluates ideas based on consistency, evidence, and structure. At its core, logic operates on a few principles. Claims must be supported by evidence. Conclusions must follow from premises. Contradictions weaken truth claims. Logic is what allows humans to build science, develop technology, solve problems systematically. It is not emotional. It is not comforting. It simply asks, does this make sense? Is it verifiable? Point number 2. What is belief? Belief is acceptance, often without the need for complete proof. Belief can be religious, cultural, personal, or philosophical. Unlike logic, belief does not always require evidence. It thrives on faith, experience, trust, and tradition. Belief answers questions logic sometimes cannot. Why do we exist? What is the purpose of suffering? What happens after death? Belief fills emotional and existential gaps that logic alone cannot always satisfy. Point number 3. Where logic and belief meet. Despite their differences, logic and belief are not always enemies. In fact, they often intersect in meaningful ways. Belief guided by logic. Some beliefs are formed through reasoning. For example, trust in medicine based on scientific evidence, ethical beliefs shaped by rational thinking, confidence in systems that have proven reliability. Here, belief is not blind, it is informed. Logic inspired by belief. Belief can also motivate logical inquiry. A belief that the universe is understandable led to scientific exploration. A belief in progress led to innovation. In this sense, belief can act as a starting point. Logic then tests and refines it. Everyday decisions. In daily life, humans consistently blend both. You logically assess a job opportunity, but believe in your ability to succeed. This balance is natural and necessary. Point number 4. Where they clash. The real tension begins when belief resists logical examination. Evidence versus faith. Logic demands evidence. Belief often resists it. When a belief cannot be tested or disproved, logic struggles to engage with it. This creates a fundamental conflict. Logic says, show me proof. Belief says, you must trust. Change in truth versus fixed conviction. Logic evolves. It adapts when new information emerges. Belief, however, often seeks stability. It resists change because it provides certainty. This leads to friction when new discoveries challenge long-held beliefs. Evidence contradicts tradition. Emotional investment. Beliefs are rarely neutral. They are tied to identity, culture, and belonging. When logic challenges belief, it feels personal. As a result, logical arguments are rejected. Emotional defense takes over. The clash is no longer about truth, but about protection. Point number 5. The danger of extremes. Problems arise when either logic or belief dominates completely. Pure logic without belief. A pure logical world may become cold, detached, and lacking meaning. Logic alone cannot define purpose, morality, or emotional values. Blind belief without logic. Unchecked belief can lead to superstition, manipulation, resistance to progress. When belief ignores evidence, it becomes rigid and sometimes harmful. Balance is not optional, it is essential. Point number 6. Historical moments of clash. Throughout history, the clash between logic and belief has shaped human progress. Scientific discoveries versus traditional beliefs. New ideas often challenged established systems. The structure of the universe, the nature of disease, the origins of life. In many cases, belief resisted change until evidence became undeniable. Social and cultural change. Beliefs about human rights, governance, equality, however, evolved through logical critique, even evidence-based thinking. History shows a pattern. Belief resists, logic challenges. Eventually, one adapts or collapses. Point number 7. Why the clash persists. If logic is so powerful, why doesn't it simply replace belief? Because belief serves needs that logic cannot fully satisfy. The need for meaning. Logic explains how. Belief explains why. Humans crave purpose, not just explanation. The fear of uncertainty. Logic often leads to more questions. Belief offers closure. For many, certainty is more comforting than truth. Social reinforcement. Beliefs are shared within communities. Challenging belief can mean losing connection, facing rejection, and standing alone. This makes belief resistant to logical change. Point number 8. Can logic and belief coexist? Yes, but only under certain conditions. When belief is open to question, a flexible belief can coexist with logic. It allows reflection, adjustment, and growth. When logic respects human experience, logic must recognize that humans are not purely rational. Emotions, meanings, and experience matter. When both know their limits, logic cannot answer everything. Belief should not claim to. When each stays within its strength, balance becomes possible. Point number 9. The personal battlefield. The greatest clash between logic and belief does not happen in society. It happens within individuals. Every person faces moments where evidence contradicts what they believe. Logic challenges comfort. Truth threatens identity. In those moments, a choice emerges. Hold on to belief or follow logic. This choice defines growth. Point number 10. A new approach. Instead of choosing sides, a more powerful approach is integration. Question your beliefs, not to destroy them, but to understand them. Use logic as a tool, not as an enemy of meaning, but as a guide to clarity. Accept uncertainty. Not every question needs an immediate answer. Stay open. Growth requires willingness to rethink. In conclusion, here is the bridge between two worlds. Logic and belief are not enemies by design. They became enemies when misunderstood. Belief gives meaning. Logic gives direction. Without belief, life may feel empty. Without logic, life may become misguided. This goal is not to eliminate one for the other, but to build a bridge between them. A mind that believes but also questions. A mind that reasons but also understands. That is where true wisdom begins. Final reflection. Ask yourself, what do I believe and why? What evidence supports it? Am I willing to change if I'm wrong? Because the strongest mind is not the one that chooses between logic and belief. It is the one that knows when to use each, and more importantly, when to change both.